Neighbourhood Watch became part of life in Northern Ireland almost 20 years ago. Policing is too important for the police to try and do it on their own.
It's a community-driven way of making people sort of look after each other.
A friend of ours came up with the idea that we should have a neighbourhood watch. It would be of benefit to all the people living in the area.
We got involved over a social behaviour problem. We were invited as a suggestion, would we like to start up or become part of the Neighbourhood Watch scheme.
So we went and consulted with some of the local neighbours. We probably got about 20 people together and had a meeting with the police posting it, and we decided that we would go ahead.
By reaching out to those Neighbourhood Watch coordinators, we're able to engage in preventative activity, which can on occasions involve sharing details of information around crime trends, crime patterns, concerns that we have at the moment in respect of vulnerabilities. Then those coordinators then can share the information with the members and the participants within their scheme. Neighbourhood Watch is not about curtain twitchers. Neighbourhood Watch is about communities looking out for each other. It's about you viewing life through the lens of you being a victim of crime.
As a coordinator, I suppose it's just keep your eyes open and ear to the ground.
You're getting to know your neighbours, you're getting to understand what's going on in the community, and then if you do see something strange, I mean, especially in rural areas, to see your neighbour's farm machinery and to notice if somebody different is using it, all that there is all interconnected.
There are several vulnerable people living in our neighbourhood. Every now and again, we pop by their houses and just say hello, see if they're all right.
Creates a sense of safety for people living in the community, especially those that are more vulnerable and who maybe lack the support of family, who are maybe at some distance away from them.
We've had vulnerable people have perhaps gone missing. Through communicating that information out to Neighbourhood Watch coordinators, we've had members of Neighbourhood Watch schemes have noticed someone answering the description and been able to report in, and we found someone.
Just nice to know that there's somebody looking out for you, they're there for you, you know what I mean, if you need them, even if it's not for crime, even just as, you know, a friendship thing.
There has been a change. People actually will stop now as they're driving by each other and they'll acknowledge each other, they chat.
If I have half a dozen or a dozen officers deployed on a shift from a police station, that's a half a dozen or a dozen pairs of eyes. Whereas if there are 10 Neighbourhood Watch schemes in that broad station area, with an average of perhaps 20 participants in each scheme, well, once you do the math, suddenly you realise the extra number of sets of eyes that are out there watching for the suspicious car that's been loitering around your house.
We work with the PCSP, and through that we attend workshops when we can. For example, on the wildlife safety, drugs issues, fraud, internet safety. So there's quite a lot of workshops. The coordinators would do is try and get all that information back into our community.
We have a Facebook page up and running, and we put on it items that be on the PCSP pages and police websites. Anything that's given information, maybe of burglaries that have been taking place or suspicious vehicles in the area.
We try and host events a couple of times a year if we can, and during those events then there'll be opportunities to share learning, share current information, and indeed take ideas from the coordinators themselves around what else the police can be doing to help their communities.
Neighbourhood Watch gives you also a direct avenue or a direct link into the local police. Everything is linked into the service that they provide.
It doesn't necessarily always curtail antisocial behaviour, but what it does is it helps resolve antisocial behaviour where activity begins to occur.
Our local Neighbourhood Watch coordinator is very helpful. He's there at the end of a phone for advice or suggestions.
We have a liaison officer and who would regularly visit us, and through that we would raise any issues if there was any concerns for anything. If some of the community wanted little alarms or pens to secure equipment, we can request those and they'll be delivered out to us.
We try and take all the bureaucracy out of it as far as humanly possible. We try and make it as easy as possible, and anyone who's interested in setting up a Neighbourhood Watch scheme will find that they will have our attention, they will have our support, and they will have any help that we can give them around making sure that we can get it established.
We have full-time staff in the Police and Community Safety Partnership who will help you and advise you and will help you organise meetings and everything that you need to set this up, and then they will get you accredited, and we get the signs up so as people coming into the area know that this is a place where there's a community safety watch.
Having the Neighbourhood Watch signs up in our community has definitely helped make the community a safer place. So, you know, it's a deterrent if anything. If anybody did decide to come around and if they see those signs, they may think twice.
Just something that we think we should do, to give back to the community that's been so good to me.
Since we became part of the Neighbourhood Watch scheme, we definitely feel there's more safety behind it, and also we feel that we've got a voice.
There's definitely a feeling of the area being a lot safer. There's a notice as you come in through the entrance to the park, and you know, I suppose it just gives a sense of security to people in the neighbourhood, you know, and there's a communication through the Neighbourhood Watch page that we set up that if anybody sees anything suspicious or you know, if any concerns whatsoever, they can either put it on the page or contact one of the coordinators directly.
It's really important that it's not a one-way street. It has to be a two-way street. It has to be the police sharing some information with the coordinators to help them prevent crime or help us detect crime. But equally so, it has to be an opportunity for the community to have a voice, to help them share with us what they think we should also be doing.
You know, elderly feel very vulnerable, so they do, and people living on their own feel very vulnerable. And it's nice to know that there's somebody there that you can lift the phone and somebody will be there for you and will certainly get you help if you need them. And if it reduces crime in the area as well, then it has to be a good thing.
By becoming a part of a Neighbourhood Watch, a community is going to add another little bit of a contribution to making our place a safer place to live.